Hi everyone. Today I'm going to make a video tutorial about how to use Open Office Calc. It's spreadsheet software. Open Office is an open source office software platform. So it has spreadsheet software, word processing software, presentation software, database software, which can be legally downloaded for free. The reason why I'm showing this tutorial today is because I have a friend who has never used spreadsheet software before. And I, on the other hand, have been making spreadsheets since I was about 11 years old. That was my math teacher in middle school. I think that spreadsheet software and the ability to use spreadsheets is a very valuable tool that you will use throughout the rest of your life. If you know how to use this, it will help you. For example, when you're paying your bills, or you need to keep track of your car's fuel economy, which I'll show you today, or you want to figure out loan payments or any kind of things later on in life, if you know how to use spreadsheet software, it will make your life much easier. Spreadsheets are different than a calculator, where a calculator you just kind of type in numbers and then you type in the function and then you press enter. It will calculate. Spreadsheets, to put it mildly, you use kind of the memory function a lot, if that makes sense. What I'm trying to say is, just like on a calculator, you have to memorize a number so you can use it later. Spreadsheets are all about that. And a lot of things are done at the formula bar here. This tutorial I'm going to be explaining as if you have never ever used spreadsheet software before. So I'll try to make things simple. I might use analogies and things like that. But the first thing you'll see is you'll see all these cells. These are called cells. It goes from 1 down to about 2 million maybe. I don't know exactly. My recording area is smaller than my laptop screen here because I don't really need the whole window to show what I'm trying to show today. It goes from A all the way to Z, and then it starts going to, I think, AA. So we got the columns and the rows, and when you do columns times rows and you use these, it can become very powerful. So what you do when you use spreadsheet software, the way I think of it is, what question is it that you want to have answered? And then you think about what are the different steps to answering that question. And then you take the problem apart, work on each individual part, and put it back together. That's how spreadsheet software works. So the first example I wanted to show is, let's say I wanted to figure out my car's fuel economy. So what I would do is I would say start odo for starting odometer, ending odometer, difference, and maybe I'll say difference miles, and I need to make that a little bit bigger, which, by the way, I think, no, I'll probably show that later. It is possible to change them all at the same time. There we go. You have to select them in a certain way. And I've just made them probably bigger than I should have. Anyway, let's say fill up in gallons. So, and let's say economy. So my car is 149, 500. My car is a little bit higher than that, but I forgot the exact number. So let's say I started my car and I drove it. I took a reading and I took another reading. And then what I'm going to do, so equals, you have to type in equals When you have to do that, you are communicating to the spreadsheet software that you intend for it to do a calculation. See, earlier on, I was just typing things in here. I could type test, and it goes into the formula bar. So right at this point, it's just well, in computers it's called a string. It's just a piece of text. It's just it's just for show. It's not actually doing anything. So I have to tell the software that I want it to do something. I have to press equals, and then I can start calculating. So equals this minus that. Press enter, and it calculated 100. I can change the numbers, press enter again, and it'll automatically calculate. So, but I'm going to, for this example, I'm going to go back to 100. Whoops. I typed in the wrong number there. Now let's say I went to the gas station and I filled up, I believe my car has 18.5 gallons of fuel in its tank. It would mean that I was completely empty. So now I'm going to figure out the miles per gallon. So again, equals, I'm telling you I want you to calculate. So miles per gallon divided by gallon. Divided is the / You press enter, and I'm apparently getting a little over 5.4 miles to the gallon, which is terrible. But that's just for this example. You can understand what I've done. I'm going to do another example. It's a 149,600. Ending odometer 149,850. And I went to the gas station and I put in 14.2 gallons, say. Now, here's the thing. You notice I skipped this and I skipped this. This is what my math teacher in middle school taught us about Excel, the very first thing. Or spreadsheet software, I should say. We were using Excel, but the beauty of fill down. You click on this and drag it down, and once I release the mouse, it has already copied this formula over. Again, I drag down. Oh, now I'm getting 17.6 miles to the gallon. Still not great, but better than 5. This is very important because I only had to do the work once here, and I had to do the work once here, and then I just dragged it down, and it automatically calculated. Now you can keep continuing doing this, which I'll just do it real quickly here. It only advances by 1, but I'll just do it for argument's sake. It's still 250, and let's say 14.58 gallons to 2.2, 8.88. And then I just drag down and see it automatically calculates the economy. I'm getting wildly fluctuating fuel economies. If this were a real car, that would not be a good thing. But that's just what I wanted to show about the very basic functionality of how to use spreadsheet software in this example. And I have a couple more examples. But what I'm getting at is that you only have to do the work once, and then it will calculate. Another thing that you're going to need to know is all these numbers are kind of running together. It's kind of hard to see. So you select what you want, format cells, and I have to drag this over so you can see it. You know, all the different formats you can have. I'm going to choose this, click OK, and it automatically did that. And I can continue filling down, and it will automatically insert the comma there, like that. So that's another useful function is the average function. So actually I have the fill up right here. So The question I have is how many gallons of fuel do I fill up on average? That's another important thing that you might use later on. So equals, because I want calc to do something, average, open parentheses, and all you have to do is drag a box and press enter, and it automatically calculates my average fill up is 22.63 gallons. I can also drag over here, and the average fuel economy is this. So not only can you drag down or fill down, you can also fill right and fill left, fill up. That's another important thing. Again, I only did the work once, and all I did was drag it over there. I'm going to just write that so I know what that is. And I'd like to put it over there. Another useful function is a sum function, which adds up all the numbers. So let's say I wanted to, fill up. Fill ups. Oh, I did it again. Okay, let's say I wanted to figure out how much total gas. You would do equals sum, open parentheses, and you see the tooltip here is already helping me understand the proper way to write this function. And drag a box, and I have put 135.78 gallons of gas in my car. Notice that these cells are two separate cells, so they do not interfere with each other. This box is for this function, this box is for this function. So that's another useful. I use the sum function a lot. Another useful function is days and business days. So let's say I wanted to figure out how many. First of all, I have to format this correctly. I have to tell calc that I want this to be a date. Otherwise, what will happen is it will try to divide. It'll do 12 divided by 31 divided by 99. If I were to just type that, calc will not understand that I'm trying to write a date. It would think this is an equation. So what I have to do is tell calc that you're going to see me type in some operator, but a division operator, but what I want you to do is interpret that as a date. So let's say today is February 13th. So let's say 02, 01, 21, and start, end, and then 02, 28, 21, it's the end date. And I want to figure out how many days there are. Actually, I should probably do this. You notice I can drag around. I always like to do a double box when I just want to move one thing because it makes it a little harder to see. The calc thinks that I'm trying to select. I don't want to select. I want to move it. So when I want to move only one item, I tend to just drag out two spaces and then I can move it around like that. So let's say I wanted to figure out how many days in the month. So which is 28, 27, but equals days. So that, semicolon, that, enter, 27 days in February. But now let's say there's business days. You want to figure out how many business days. So you do equals network days. So not network days, it's network days, all one word. And start date. And I hope I do this correctly because it might give a negative number. Nope. So there are 20 business days in February. This is another useful thing. And again, I could do self-calculating instead of February 28th. I just have to change one number. So December 28th, 2021, it automatically self-calculated. So between February 1 and December 28th, there's 330 calendar days, but only 237 business days. I can also drag down, and I can drag down, and I think I can drag up, but I don't know if it will. Nope, screwed that up. So what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can drag down, and that, nope. Let me see here, 237. Oh, because it's, yeah, so it is still consistent. It's just the reason why it's the same is because these are both advancing by one day. So if I were to do 14, well, say I were to, come on, it would be embarrassing if I screwed this up. And instead of 1231, I did 03. And net work days between those two. I'll just show one more example here. I was born, so 04/20, 1988, and then 02/13/21. Let's figure out how many days old I am. Equals days. That, and format cells. Number, I am 11,987 days old. I'm almost 12,000 days old. So that's interesting. Another thing you can do is you can make graphs with Excel. So I'm going to make a chart, and it automatically did it. The columns are a little bit screwed up, but I probably won't go too much into the charts in this easy tutorial. You can't see it because the screen is, it's not capturing part of the screen, so I have to move this over here. So column D, column E, D is in Delta, E is in Echo. So the blue line is the gallons, and then the red line is the fuel economy. Just a simple graph. It's very quick. This is another useful tool if you wanted to present your calculations to anyone. I'm going to resize this and move it over here, because I want to show this too. Maybe I'll move it over here. So I hope you have learned something today about how to use spreadsheet software. I think that it's, again, a very valuable tool. I have shown some of the most common formulas I personally use: average, sum, day functions. I've shown how you can format numbers. And it just takes practice. What I would say is, when you have some problem and you want to know something, just think of it as, what is the mathematical question I want answered? And then you just start typing in the different things, just like I did up here. And then you can solve. You'll have the spreadsheet software solve it automatically for you. And then it takes time to learn the different functions, but that will come later. There's also a function wizard, which you can look at different date, time, let's see, different function categories. Let's do financial, and well, I don't know what a lot of these do actually. So mathematical, count. Oh yeah, the count functions. Well, actually, let's do the count functions. So 2, 3. Actually, why am I doing this? I only have to type in the number once, and then I'm going to fill down. So equals count 8. So there are 8 different numbers. So basically, how many categories? So I did the count function. I could also do say apples, oranges, pears, bananas equals count. It didn't work. Maybe count A. 4. There it goes. Count A. The 4. So how many different types of fruit do I have? Well, I could see it with my own eyes. I can do 4, but let's say I wanted to just do that, and I wanted to go up here like that. Just by telling, I'm not. I can't count all this in my head that quickly, so I just do count A. You can drag up here and move there. 20. So there's 20 different types of fruit, even though there's not. By the way, bananas are technically berries. But actually count A. There we go. That's the function name there. So I think now it would be a good time to end the tutorial. Very basic, very, very basic. And I hope you have enjoyed this and just practice. I've been making spreadsheets for a long time, and they have helped me tremendously in every part of my life. Thank you.